Alright guys, so we just got done cleaning fish, so my table's dirty. Kind of have a small video on how to use that electric knife there. If anybody's interested, we'll probably put a link on it. I'm not the greatest. I'm still learning the whole kind of filleting thing out. So, but that knife works wonderful. So I've got to clean my table off. It wasn't latched at the top, which is fine because that's exactly what I want it to do. A lot of you guys were asking about these boards, and as you can tell, we're out on the water. No, they do not flex. I mean, I guess if you got your boat in some really wonky wave and maybe it could, but I mean, honestly, it's just as strong as wood. And if you look at you can tell where each section is. There's one here, there's one here. What's awesome about it is you don't have to worry about whether it gets wet or not. We spray the deck off. I'm gonna actually try to get most of this juice out of here though. This is our fish table. I bought this, and it does have a hose or a water faucet you can hook up to it, and it does have a drain on the bottom, but we rarely use it. I love this. We have a 15-gallon tank on here. This acts as our shower, which works good because you can literally wash off if you're camping on the river. We use it to clean. You can put fresh water in it. We usually use river water when we're just kind of cleaning and spraying off. But I use it to clean my table, and it will spray the deck off when we're done. So this setup, we get stopped all the time on the river. People flag the boat, well, a lot because we have the pirate flags going, but they don't realize all the stuff, you know, that we actually use this boat more or less for a work boat. We like to catch fish, so we set jugs. The jugs are in the back. We keep them hanging off the back of the boat so they're not in the way. We've got our hard top with our fishing reels. We actually have a mosquito net that when you're in the hard top, you can let it down and go all the way around, turn your lights on. You don't have to worry about so many bugs. Once you're done, like I said, you can spray your decking boards off, and you don't have to worry about it. It just kind of goes through. Now, if any of you guys are thinking, hey, I want to build a pontoon boat with these decking boards, we will warn you. Get ready. If it's an older boat, if it's a newer boat, you're probably fine. If it's a tri-tune or something like that, because they set higher in the water. This is a 1978 that we completely redone. It sets lower in the water. So it was twofold. When we first got it out on the river, it didn't flex, it didn't have any problems, except water would come up through the deck from where when you were going down the river, it would splash up in different areas, especially if you're going kind of slow, it would come up in the back. And then when you got going really fast, sometimes it would come up like right in here. For the most part, we've remedied a lot of that by putting other stuff underneath. So like the kind of like the roofing panels, but not the metal ones. We used the vinyl ones, and we kind of put them underneath. That helped a lot. For the most part, it's perfect. No water really comes up through it anymore. As far as the weight goes, I don't know how much extra weight it added to the boat. These naturally set low in the water anyway, but you could tell we have a ton of weight on this boat. We have the hard top, we have this, and we can still we've had 10 or 12 people on it. The boat will only go about 10 miles an hour. And for the guy who had the question about how fast does the 115 horsepower motor push it, this was brand new. It's the VMAX show. Our top speed with probably 6 or under people, especially with me and my wife, on a good day going downriver, if the wind's behind you, 19, 20 miles an hour is about your very top. But you will average 16 to 17 miles an hour full force on a 28-foot long boat. Now, from my understanding, the VMAX show motors are 115 horse at the propeller, so that means they push about 125 at the head, so you actually got true 115 horse coming out of the back of the propeller. We do carry an extra fuel tank with us. This thing works pretty good. Sometimes it's a little wonky. You got to make sure your hose is straight so that it'll gravity feed, but we do carry extra fuel on the boat. Sometimes we even have more than this on the boat, but the boat works well. We can post a video of it kind of going down the river, which we've got some of those already. And as far as the anchor goes, we're really not ready. It's been a little wonky. It's not been that bad. Sometimes it'll kick out and I have to push it back in, but it works just fine coming up and going down. I don't want to pull it all the way up because we're not ready to move yet, but it does work. I will say, guys, if you get an older pontoon and you're going to do any kind of wiring, for the most part we have all of our wiring on top of the boat now. A lot of it used to be under, but I kind of was like, you know what, anytime you have to work on it, you have to get under the boat, you have to do all this stuff. So you can either run it down like your side rails, but most of ours comes from the center console. We run it through a pipe, and the boat's kind of dirty right now. I've got leaf stick over here, but a lot of the wiring is run through this pipe directly into this box. Now I know it looks a little junky right now. This is run, these two batteries are run on 2 solar cells. So I have 200 watts of solar power that run both of these batteries. And I've got my gauges here, which right now I'm only showing 12.7 on this one and 12.9 on that one, because we're actually in the shade, but they're usually at 13.6, 14.2. And of course when I crank the motor, but that's strict solar cells. As a matter of fact, my radio's on, and when we turn the lights on, we're still pushing the normal battery power while it's still charging. So that's a big help too. But yeah, that's pretty much it for what we call the pirate pontoon and what everybody else calls the pirate pontoon. When we go down the river, everybody's waving. Some people just pull up and are like, man, I really like your boat. We've done a lot of work to it. We stay on the river at night too, so I've got a magnetic, and I'll probably put a link to that too, a magnetic spotlight that's remote controlled, and that thing is amazing. I can shine it plumb across the shore and it'll light up the whole shore over there. We're going to get a few extra lights, probably a bigger light bar for the front, but other than that, that's it. I mean, it's just kind of working through what you want, what you're building your pontoon for. We built it for swimming, having fun, but mainly fishing and just relaxing and doing what we want. So I can't remember if there were any other questions. We'll just tag, hopefully, maybe everybody who had questions about the boat, about the anchor, about the motor, and different things like that. I know it's been a minute, and sorry that we're a little late, but running a business keeps us busy enough. So hopefully you guys will check out the video if you're in the process of working on one, and you can kind of get an idea of what we did to ours. If you have any more questions, just kind of post in the comments or whatever. If you need to know, you know, a certain something, just let us know. And I'll answer it the best I can. And whenever we get a chance and we're just not absolutely busy. All right, guys, so the back of my boat was just in about 3 foot of water. I think the shallowest we've had it in is 2 foot. Of course, that's from the bottom where the sensor is. You always put your sensor at the lowest portion. But if she'll sit down, we'll kind of show you the takeoff it has. I can't really go top speed because we got a board we got to fix, but I will show you what the motor can do. Takeoff, it does good. I just didn't want to go fast too long because we got a board that's kind of sticking out and the water's coming up through and it kind of pushes it out. It's kind of our fault. I didn't get it back on there good when we were working on the, I think we were painting it or something. But at any rate, it does great. It's got a good cruising mode, and of course you can tell the floor is fine. There's no water coming up. It doesn't flex. You know, and honestly, it's okay if it flexes a little because, you know, wood would be more apt to break. These boards would flex a whole lot before they broke. So even if you, think I ran over a small stick. I wasn't watching. I usually always watch it. But you know, it's okay even if it flexes a little, because honestly, you know, if you do get your boat in a bind or something, you'd have to be doing something really stupid in order for it to break or do whatever it's going to do. But we've never had an issue as far as the floor goes, thank God. Good Lord willing, and we try to stay safe. But yeah, I mean, I just kind of, it looks like I've got this thing going fast, but it's not. This thing will go way down more. I don't know what we're cruising at. We're at 8 miles an hour right now. 9, 10, 13, 15, 16, right here, 16, 7, 17. And that's all I'm going to do right now. I mean, trust me, guys, on a good day, 19 miles an hour. And I'm going to get a little bit different of a garment here. But I got this board sticking out over here, so I don't want to just full place do it. But we were 17 then. Once you finally get it going all the way, and if we're going back down the river, like I said, 19, 20 on a good day, you're going to average probably around 17 to 18 miles an hour at top speed. You know, we go top speed. If we got a long distance to go, we're going to go top speed for most of the way. But then sometimes we just kind of cruise. I'm usually about 10 miles an hour. We're not far. This is Fort Donaldson up here, so we're going to come in up here. We're at 10.8 miles an hour. So it works great when you get it out on the river. We got all the lights we need. We got all the paperwork, everything that you need. A lot of people really like it though. Even the game warden pulled up to us one day, didn't want to check anything, wasn't even. He just come up and was like, "Man, I like your boat." And he was stalking for a little bit, and I was like, "Do you want to see my papers?" He's like, "Man," he said, "You got this much time into this boat." He said, "I figure you got all your papers." So he didn't even look at my papers, didn't ask for a fishing license or nothing. But I thought that was kind of a neat thing. A lot of people give them a bad rep, and they're just doing their job. You want to make sure you're doing, what you need to do, being safe, all that good stuff. So we appreciate them around here. For the most part, most of them are good. Some of them can kind of be little assholes, but if you're hunting out in the woods, that's usually when people run into their problems. The guys on the water are usually a little bit more laid back. If you're drinking or doing something stupid. Yeah, that's the Pirate Pontoon. We'll probably still do a few things here and there. For the most part, it's done. We will kind of, do different things, but other than that, that's it.
What you will with, baby, don't stop. We all want to see you shake it. Come on, shake it. Come on, shake it. Move it like you mean it. Shake it. That's hot. Shake it. We all want to see you.